Hello everyone and welcome to our Saturday live show where we do tutorials around Divi and generally discuss Divi and how you can build better looking websites. Today I'm going to show you how to design a website using Divi Monk templates. So let me start off by showing you the website or the final design that we're aiming for. So I'm just going to switch over here to my desktop so you can see my website. So pretty much this is the site. So the templates that I've chosen here are for a design agency. So there are a lot of options that you can choose from Divi Monk, but this is the one I chose for today's demo. So as you can see, I've replaced my image here, as you shall see in the demo, and I've also made some customizations here to this button. And then as I scroll down here, you can see we have added some elements here just to make it unique to us. And this is the idea with customizing these templates when you design your websites, because I would use these as a starting point because this will save you a lot of time. So this is the home page. I'm going to go here to the about page. We've also made some customizations here. So we've added a video and some borders here and also changed that image. We've also created a blog page from scratch because the blog did not come by default with the template. So we're able to design our blog here and also make it consistent by having this page title here. Okay, I'm going to go to the contact page. Okay, so here we didn't do a lot of changes, but it was a way of just showing you how you can change information that's in your template. Okay, so pretty much this is what we'll be designing today, but before we get started, I'd like to talk about the offer. These templates, if you were to go to Divi Monk, in fact, let me go to the website now so I can show you. These cost about $299 per year to get access to these to this template library. So you can see here, if I click on Buy Now, the price here is $299.99 per year. But now Hustler Bear has a fantastic offer where you can get this lifetime offer for only $59. Now the information for all this is linked in the video description below, so go ahead, click those links and check it out. This is a fantastic deal, and also with the fact that you have lifetime support and you also have extra templates being added to that library as you go along. So you can see how this can be a benefit going forward. Okay, so let me just show you the deals page from Hustler Bear. So here I'm on the page, on Hustler Bear's page. We can see here that it's $299 slashed down to $59, and this is for the lifetime offer. And already 152 people have already bought this, so the time is ticking away. So I would recommend that you download this plugin and get started. Now, if you don't know how to get all started with this, I created a video 2 weeks ago. It's also in my show notes. I will show you step by step how you get this offer and how you sign up for it on Divi Monk after you've got your discount code. Okay, so now with that out of the way, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look and see how many people have joined us so far. I can see here we have Monique Robinson saying greetings. How are you doing, Monique? Thank you very much for tuning in. And we have also Claudia. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. George, thanks a lot for tuning in. I always appreciate that. You're a regular on the live show, so thank you very much for taking your time out and joining us. Okay, also, by the way, we're also streaming live on Facebook too. And I'm just checking here to see who's on Facebook. I think we have Rike. We also have Kevin saying, hello, Mac. Hey, Kev, how you doing? Glad you managed to join us today. Fantastic. So now it's time to get started, and let's go through the demo, and let me show you how we managed to create this page. Okay, so I'm here in my WordPress admin dashboard, but before we get started, I would like to start off by creating all my pages that I'm going to need for my website. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to pages, click on all pages. So as you can see, we don't have any pages created. So I'm going to come over here, click on add new, and then I'm going to start by creating my home page. At the moment, I'm not going to press use the Divi builder. I'm just going to publish all my pages. Okay, so this is our home page. I'm going to click on add new, and this one is going to be my about page. Publish. We're going to move on to the contact page. Publish. And then finally, I'm going to add my services page. So what we will be doing later on is I will be adding some more pages if we need to. So now that I have all my pages added, on our website right now, we don't have a menu. So let's go ahead and create that. So I'm going to come over here to my appearance and then click on menus. So I'm going to call this main menu, but you can call it whatever you want. And then I'm going to click on create menu. And then the next stage is to add all our pages to that menu. So I'm going to click on select all, and then I'm going to click on add to menu. Rearrange these in the order that you want. And then over here, I'm going to make sure that I select my primary menu and then click on save menu. Right. So now if we take a look at our website, this should have a menu on it. And there we go. Okay. So later on, we are going to be adding, for example, the blog page and so on. Right, so now it's time to add our template. So I'm going to come back over here, click on Divi, and then come over here to Divi Monk. Right, so the website we're going to be designing is an agency website. So I'm just going to search for agency here, and we can see that we have some pages already pre-built for us. So I'm going to go ahead and download these. But before I do that, let's just do a quick preview and take a look at what these pages look like. So I'm going to click on preview. So you can see here, this is well designed, but we are going to be making some customizations to this and also replacing these images, because as you can see, these images here have this watermark called sample. Now we don't want this. It doesn't look professional. So make sure that when you start using these layouts, you are using your own images. So this is what we'll be doing. Okay, so I'm going to close this for now and download all these templates. So I'm going to click download on all these. Now bear in mind, it takes a bit of time. So if you rush it, you might realize that these templates won't be on your system. Okay, so I'm just going to let that download. So here we can see we have a check mark to show that it's downloaded. And we also have the same here on the Creative Agency About page. Okay. And then the final one. Right, so when all these download, they will be downloaded in our Divi library. Okay, so I'll let this carry on. So what I'm going to do next is to add one more page, which I think is very, very important. So let me come over here to pages, click on add new. And the page we're going to add here is the blog page, like that. And then I'm going to publish it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to create all our posts, which are going to be on our blog page. So I'm going to come over here and go to Lorem 2 to get my dummy text. And then I'm just going to copy a bunch of this text like that. And then over here, I'm going to add my posts. So I'm going to come over here to post, click on add new. Okay, so we're just going to call this post 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to enter my text like that. And then over here, I'm going to click on set featured image, select files, and then I'm going to come over here into my images folder. And then I'm going to start adding my images. So I'm going to add this one as my first. It's taking a while. Okay, I'm going to set it as my featured image like that. So you can see it here in the bottom, but you can also drag this to the top so that you can access this easily. Okay, so that's my first post. Let me add a new post. Okay, I'm going to click on add new. We're going to call this post 2. Paste my text. I'm going to come over here to my featured images, upload files, and then I'm going to select my image. Now, one good place to go and download your images is from a website called Unsplash. So I will go and download one more image from there so I can show you where to get beautiful images. Because one of the most important things when it comes to design is to make sure that you have beautiful images. So I'm just going to go to unsplash.com. So this is where I get all my images. So I'm just going to scroll through and see which image I can use. So let me find a city. So I'm just going to type London. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this image right here. Download it straight onto my computer. And then I'm going to come back to my website here, publish this post and create one more post. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on add new. This is going to be post 3. And then I'm going to come over here and paste my content. And then I'm going to set my featured image, click upload. Okay, I'm going to publish this. So now we have 3 posts ready to go, and it's going to make it easier for us to lay out our blog page. So I'm just going to click on view post so I can have an idea of what it looks like. And you can see here, it looks really, really nice. Fantastic. Okay. So now it's time to go into our pages and add all our templates. So I'm going to go back over here to dashboard, and then I'm going to go to pages, click on all pages. So I'm going to start with the home page. I'm going to click on edit, use Divi Builder, and then I'm going to come over here and click on load from library, add from library. Now, these are the templates that we added onto our library earlier on from Divi Monk. So all I have to do now is to come in here and load these templates. So I'm going to start off with the home page. So I'm going to click load. So now we can see all our elements are in there. And just to show you that everything is all loaded correctly, I'm just going to click update. And then I am going to click on view page. Okay, so this is our page. You can see here it has all the elements that we need. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add all the templates to the rest of the pages. So I'm going to come back here to all pages. This time I'm going to go to services, click on edit, use Divi Builder, load from library, add from library, and this is the services. Click load, and then I'm going to click on update. So this is the process that I would do if I was creating a website for a client, or even if I was creating a website for myself. Now I have all my layouts loaded on all my pages. So it's time now to go in and add my content on the pages, customize them, make them look the way I want them to look. So I'm going to come back here onto all pages, and then I'm going to start with the home page. So I'm going to click on edit. Right, so for this, I'm going to go straight into my visual builder because I prefer building my page where I can see all the changes that I'm adding to my page. Right, so here, let's start off by by changing this image. So I'm going to click on this gear icon, click on upload. In fact, before I do that, let me just fix my my working area. I prefer having this snapping to the left like that. Right, so I'm going to come over here, click upload, and then I'm going to click on upload files to upload my image. I'm going to click on select. So over here, I'm going to go to my folder, which has all my images. Right, so let's take a look at which image I can use. So I'm going to go with this one here because that shows pretty much the theme. Okay, it's going to take a while to upload. Okay, so it's ready. I'm going to click upload an image. So now we can see that my image has replaced what we have here. So I can see here that there is something back here in the background here. That's not a problem. We can always go in and try and work out where that image is. So I'm going to save this for now. Right. So the one thing that I also want to do here is to change my button type. Okay. I don't prefer this rectangle. Now, the beauty of using these templates is you can use them as a starting point. You don't have to worry about the layout because all this is done for you beforehand. So as you can see, I'm just going in now and making all these custom changes to make the website look the way I want or the way my client wants it to look. So here, I'm not happy with this button. So I'm going to go into my module settings, click on design, and then I'm going to come over here to button. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to make sure that I add my radius But as I increase my radius, you can see that I'm changing the shape of my button. So now it looks like a pill, and this is what I prefer. And also the text here, I'm not happy with the text. So I'm going to change that text. So I'm going to come over here and make it bold. So right now it's on regular. I'm going to change this to bold. Right. So now it's more prominent, and that's what I prefer. And then what I could also do here is to add some spacing, some letter spacing. So here I'm just going to add 2. That looks much better. And then I'm going to make sure that my letter spacing is also applied here on the hover. Okay, so you can see already by just making those little changes, I'm customizing this template to make it look the way I want. So I'm going to come over here and save. Now, what you can also do is you can go in and also change this text. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. But over here, what I'm going to do is I am going to add companies that we've worked with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new section and click on regular. So I'm going to add about 4 images. So I'm going to click these 4 columns. And then I am going to add my image module like that. And then I'm going to start adding my images. So my first image, I'm going to click upload. In fact, what I'm going to do to make things easier for me is I am just going to upload all these images in one go. So I'm selecting all of them, click open. So that saves me going back and forth, adding all these images. Okay, so now that I've added all my images, so that's my first image. I'm going to click upload. I'm going to save that, move on to the next one. In fact, to make even things easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all my customizations to this image, and then I'm going to duplicate them and add them onto the rest here. Okay, so I'm going to go into my settings. So the link, I'm going to add a blank link, but in this case, you can add this link to, you can add a link to a particular website or a specific page. So if this is one of the projects that you've worked with, you can actually link to a project, but I am just going to add a blank link for now. And then over here on design, there are so many options that we can use here. We can add borders, filters, and so on. But for now, I'm not going to touch any of that. I'm just going to go ahead now and save this. Next, I'm going to come over here to my row settings. Come over here to sizing. I'm going to make this row full width. And then I'm also going to adjust my gutter width to 1 so that my images are next to each other. Okay, so let me save this for now, and let me start adding the rest of my images. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clone these images 3 times, and then just drag this into position. So now you can see that the effect of the gutter width has allowed our images to be next to each other. So all I have to do now is to go in and click this gear icon and swap these images like that. Save that. Move on to the next one. So that's looking great. So these images could represent the companies that we've worked with. So that's going to replace what I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I don't want that anymore. And then I'm just going to reduce the padding here because there's too much space. And I'm going to do that to the bottom like that. Okay. So already I've customized my homepage and it is looking good. Now our contact information is already on our contact page, so I don't need this section, so I'm going to get rid of it. So as well, just to make sure things are consistent, I am also going to change it from a rectangle to a pill. So I'm going to come over here to my settings, click on design button, and I'm going to come over here to my border radius and then just increase that. Okay, right. I also need to change my weight. So I'm going to come over here to my font weight, change that to bold, and also my letter spacing 2, and also here on the hover. Excellent. So that's looking great. What I can do now is I can go ahead and save this page and exit the Visual Builder. Now, for some reason, this image hasn't been saved, so I'm going to go back in and make sure that that image is saved. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me try and find out. So to do that, I'm just going to come over here to my expand settings and just make sure that there's no conflicts. Okay, so in my row, are there any images? Let me just check. Okay, so that's just the color. Okay, so I can see here, column 2 background is where they've added the image. So this is how you can go in and take a look at where these changes are being made. So here I've just found out that my image has been added on column 2 background. So all I'm going to do now is to delete this image and add my own. So I'm going to come over here to my media library, and the image I need is this one. Click on upload image. Okay, I'm going to save that. Now, the image that I added earlier on, I can go ahead and delete it now because I don't need that. So let's just go back to our view here and make sure that everything is in place, and it is. Now I can save my page and exit the Visual Builder. Now, actually, it's quite good that I had to do some troubleshooting live here on this video, because otherwise you wouldn't have known where to make these changes. But so far you can see that this page is looking way much better than how it was initially, and it has all our information. Now this image may also need to be changed because this is what came by default with this layout. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. So I'm going to come over here, click this gear icon and upload our own image. So the image I'm going to upload is this one here. Upload an image. Fantastic. And then I'm going to save. Okay, so now that I have this set, I am going to go and do this to one more page. And this is going to be our blog page. So I'm going to come over here to my dashboard. And then I am going to go to my pages. Click on blog, edit, use the Divi Builder. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go straight into my Visual Builder, and then we're going to start creating our layout. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I am going to add my column structure and add my blog module like that. And the post we're going to need here, since we only have 3, is 3. And then in the design, I am going to change the layout and make it grid. Okay, so we want them, to show as a grid like that. And then we can go ahead now and make some more customization. So if I go back here to my content, I can go into my elements here and disable show author. I can disable date, categories, and pagination. Okay, so now that looks a bit more simplified. Next, I'm going to come over here to design, and then I'm going to do some adjustments to my text. So I'm going to start off with my title. I'm going to click on my title font. So we used Montserrat. So let me just search for that. And right here. Okay, I'm going to make this all caps. And we're also going to make it bold. Like that. Okay, so that looks good so far. Next, we're going to customize our text here. So we're going to come over here to body text. Increase the size. Increase the line height. And then save. Next, we're going to come over here and increase the width of this row. So we're going to customize that. We're going to come over here to sizing. Let's use custom width. I'm going to use this as a percentage. And 80% is fine because everything else seems to be nice and big on our page. I'm going to save that. And then what I'm going to do now is to clone this like that. So now we have this blog page well populated. So what we may need now is the header area. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my pages and make a copy of that, and that's going to be my header image. So I'm going to save this page for now, and then I'm going to click on Exit Visual Builder, and then let me choose my services page because this has a header created already, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this, and then I am going to add it to my library. So I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder, and then here I'm going to click this little arrow here and add this to the library. So I'm just going to call these headings like that, save to library, and that's all I need to do. So now I can go back to my page and then click on Enable Visual Builder, add a new section, add from library. And here's the headings that I've just added to my library. That. So now I want to drag this all the way to the top like that. And then all I have to do now is to go in and just change this information here. So instead of service, I'm going to call this blog, that. And then this text here, we can, customize this to whatever we want. So let's say you wanted to specifically add your own text. So this is where you paste it, that, and then you can go ahead and save. Fantastic. So that's looking great. So this is how you customize your page. I'm going to save this. So the reason why we have this on all our pages is for consistency. So one more thing that I've noticed here is on my menu, we have all the pages that we added earlier on, but we're missing the blog page. So let's go ahead and fix that. So this is saved now. I'm going to come over here and click on my dashboard. And then I'm going to go to my appearance and menus. So you really have to do this every time you add your pages on. So I'm going to click on add to menu and then just drag this into position. So maybe the blog should come after the services. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to save. So hopefully now if I go to my website, I should be able to see that. Right. Okay, so that's my home page and we can see here that the blog is now there. So if I click on my blog, now we have my title here and we have our blog. And if I click on any of these articles, it takes me to my blog page, just like that. So as you can see, in a very short space of time, I'm able to go in and customize these pages and also add new pages and make them look consistent. So now if I move away from the blog page and go to the About Us, for example, you can see now that there is consistency. And if I go to the services page, the header, the titles here, the page titles here are all the same, which is fantastic. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to work on our About page. So we're going to remove some of these modules and add our own, and also make some more changes to these images. Right, so I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to use our recently added borders to these images. So I'm going to come over here to Image Settings, click on Design, and then I'm going to come over here to Border, and in fact, I'm going to come over here to Box Shadows. That's what I was after. Right, so we can see here, I've just added my box shadow here. Okay, so the color, I'm just going to add a blue, like that. Then I'm going to save. So what I can do here is I can also do the same to the rest of the images. Come over here to Design, Border, Box Shadow. I don't know why I keep choosing Border. Right, okay, I'm going to come over here, add my color, save. And then I'm going to do that on the last image, Design, Box Shadow, and then add my color to my box shadow, like that. So already by just adding these box shadows, I've actually created a design, which is an addition to what we had initially when we started off with the template, which is brilliant. Okay, so over here now on the top, yes, these are fine, but ideally I would want to have a video here of the company. So I'm going to come over here and delete it, add a new module, and this time it's going to be a video module. Click on video, and then I'm going to come over here to my YouTube channel and copy my URL. But this module also works with Vimeo and other video hosting services. Okay, so I'm going to paste my link in here, like that. Now, as you can see, as soon as I've added my video here, it comes with the thumbnail from YouTube. Now, I don't prefer this, to be honest, because there's too much going on here. So I am going to come over here to Design. In fact, I'm going to come over here to my image overlay. I'm going to click Upload, and then I'm going to choose an image that goes with my video. So let's go ahead and use this image here. And just by doing that, you can instantly see that this is a much better way of presenting your videos. You also have here this button, which you can go ahead and change. So that can be changed by coming over here to Design, Play Icon, and you can change the color there. But I prefer it the way it is. And you can also go ahead and make a lot of changes here on the filters. You can play around with your saturation. You can make it black and white by reducing, all the saturation. But I'm just going to keep it as it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and save. And then I'm going to make this row slightly bigger. So I'm going to come over here to design, click on sizing. And then for my percentage, I'm going to set this to 80%. So now I can see more of that video. Okay, so this is our about page, and you can see that it has already been changed, and I've added my video module there. I still have my description, and this can be changed as well by making it custom to you or your company. Already I can see here that my the letter spacing here is not great, so I'm going to go in and make that quick adjustment. So I'm going to come over here to my text. On the line height, I'm going to increase that to 1.8. So now it's much easier to read, which is great. This area here on our team is fine. And then here we can always change the button as we did before. So I'm going to go into my module settings, click on design, click on button, and I'm going to increase my border radius like that, and then my letter spacing. So this is very important because you want to make sure that all your buttons are consistent, and this is set to bold as well. And then all the way down here, I'm going to set my hover letter spacing. I'm just going to test that one more time, and I can see that that's looking great. Fine. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to come over here and change my background. And I think the one we used was this one. Upload an image and save. Okay, so that's looking great. You can always go in here as well and make some changes to these counters, but I'm going to leave that as it is. Save the page, and then I'm going to exit the Visual Builder. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through this one more time, and already we can see that the changes are quite nice. Fantastic. So we've done the home page, the blog page, the about page. Now we've got 2 more pages to do. But what I'm going to do to make things easier, because I don't want this training to be very long, I'm just going to go to the contact page, and then I will let you work on the services page yourself with all the techniques that I've shown you already on these 4 pages. So I'm going to come over here to my contact page. And then here you can see this is very straightforward. I'm going to change this information right here. So I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to change my phone number here. So I'm going to change this to my phone number. In fact, it's +44. I'm going to add a number, which doesn't work because just in case I start getting a lot of prank calls. Right, so I'm going to save that. And then my social media icons here, what I could do is I can go in, click on Facebook. I'm just going to show you this because this is very important. For now, there's a blank link, but this is where you add your link to your Facebook channel. So this is where you make that change. I'm just going to click on save. And then over here, you can also change your address by just clicking this, the module settings. I'm just going to add something in here, 99 Birmingham Road. Okay, this says Preston. I'm going to change that to West Midlands. Okay, so that's now customized to my details. So that's looking great. And also here on this map, you can also go in and add some filters to this if you want to add a bit of a design style to this. So I'm going to come over here to my module settings. Click on design, and then I'm going to come straight here to the filters, and this is where you can play around with the filters. And as you can see, when I start moving my slider, it is changing, you know, the items there on my map. So you can also play around with the contrast. You can add a sepia tone to that. In fact, that looks quite nice. Okay. So basically, this is how you can customize your map and customize, you know, these items on your page. Now, the contact page needs to stay as simple as possible. You don't want to make it too complicated because the idea of this page is just to get people to send you their emails or any queries. So finally, here you can see that on our button, it is not customized to match with the buttons that we've been using earlier on in our tutorial. So I'm going to come over here to my module settings, click on design button, and this is where you make those changes. So first of all, I'm going to start with the border radius, right? And then letter spacing. And then over here, I am going to change my font weight to bold. And then I'm also going to change my spacing. Right, so I've just noticed that this hasn't worked, so I'm going to change my border radius here as well. And that's fine now. So you just have to make sure that your border radius matches, you know, what we have here at the top. So this needs to be 72. Okay, so now that matches. Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Now our website looks great. The only page that needs to be designed now is the services page. And as I mentioned, I am going to leave this to you as a challenge to go ahead and make changes to that page. So I'm going to exit my visual builder, and then I'm just going to go through these pages one more time. So here is my home page. Next, it's the about page. And here we added this video and the borders on the images, and also change this image right here. Okay, we're going to go to the blog page now. And these are the blog posts. Okay, so that was quite a long tutorial, but I hope you managed to get quite a lot of information from that. Now, I have a few questions that I need to address that have just come up. So I'm here on, in fact, if you have any questions regarding this tutorial or any other questions regarding Divi and web design, just drop them in the comments box and I'll do my best to answer those questions. Okay, so the first question here is from Monique. Monique says, can you change the size of the images in the row, or do you need to do that before uploading them for consistency? Well, the one rule of thumb when it comes to images on your website is to first optimize your images, resize them to the size that you need before you use these images on your website. And of course, as you mentioned, this also makes your website consistent, because by doing that, you won't have images that are way too big and some that are way too small. Because sometimes if you upload a small image and the space that you're uploading that image to is big, that image may be blurred because Divi is trying to fill that space with your image. So optimize your images beforehand and then use them on your website. Okay. I can see here Michael Dennison has just joined us. How are you doing, Michael? Thanks for tuning in. George says contact form can save on the Excel. I'm not sure what you mean, but I guess maybe you're saying, does the contact form save the information onto Excel? Well, the answer to that is no. It can't save straight away to Excel. When the contact form saves the information and when the email is sent, those details are just sent to you via email. Okay, Monique says, excellent tutorial. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Right, let me check on Facebook and see if there's any more questions here. Okay, on Facebook, I have a question here from Kevin. He says, do you prefer Mac or Augustine? I mean, either or, I don't mind. Mac or Augustine, I don't mind at all. Any thoughts on using Divi Monk to creating event directories if you already have a lifetime to elegant themes? Okay, so you cannot use Divi Monk without a Divi license. So if you don't have Divi installed on your computer, you can't use these templates. So you have to have a Divi license first, whether it's a lifetime or you pay yearly, that's fine. But you have to have a license first, because these layouts from Divi Monk are based on Divi. So they use Divi to create these layouts. So you have to have a license. Now, the second question, which is creating event directories. Now, if you wanted to create an event directory using Divi, you would need an external plugin to do that. Divi alone does not have that functionality. Or similarly, let's say you wanted to create an e-commerce website. Well, you'd have to use an e-commerce plugin like WooCommerce in order for you to have a fully fledged website that sells products. So the event directory, that will have to be a template that you use in conjunction with Divi to come up with that functionality. I hope that answers that question. Atif says, hi Mac, you have amazing tutorial. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Let's take a look and see if there's any more questions. Yeah, and by the way, if you have any more questions, just drop them in the comments box and I'll do my best to answer those questions. I'm just checking now on Facebook to see if there's any more questions here, and it looks like right, the question here from, I think it's Chandan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He says, is it possible to create custom design header and menu using Divi and Divi Builder? Divi have any header builder? Okay, so let me answer that last question first. Divi does not have. Oh, in fact, yes, you can build custom header designs using Divi. So yes, you can use customized headers for your websites. I think I've done quite a few tutorials on that, where you can have a specific header and hero image for your header area. But I think you may mean that is it possible to build the menu using Divi, using the Divi builder? Well, if that's what you meant, at the moment we have a way to design the menu, but it does not go into a great detail to fully customize it. But I hope this is a feature which will be coming soon to give us even more ways to customize our menu. Okay, so Joe Neri says you're the best. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's take a look here. Zap says great video. Thank you. Okay, so it looks like I've answered all the questions. And by the way, if you have any more questions, because we're just about to round up today's live training tutorial. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments box. I'm now checking on Facebook to see if there's anything that's come on Facebook. Joe says, would Elegant Themes maybe create a module like the code module, but the module would be for the head only, like extra meta tags as such on a per page? I hope that this is something that can be added. This will be a great feature, but I cannot confirm that this is something that's being done at the moment, because we are only told about these major design or updates close to the time they are released. But at the moment, I haven't heard of anything along those lines, but hopefully this is a feature that will be added very, very soon, because already, as you can see, we are adding a lot of features to the Divi Builder. I mean, recently we just released the filters, which I think are fantastic if you want to make specific customizations to your website. But a lot of updates are coming, so hopefully, fingers crossed, this one will be one of those. Okay, so I'm just about to round up this. Now, if you want to learn how to design websites using Divi, I have a course called Divi Blueprint 3. It pretty much goes from beginner to advanced level, showing you everything that you need to know about Divi, and also in the process how to create a 5-page website. Now, if you'd like to learn how to design websites using the Divi Blueprint 3 course, I have a course which has a 50% discount at the moment. All the information is in the comments box below, and you can just go on to the buy now page and use the coupon code DV50, okay, DV50, DV50. So that will give you 50% off. Okay, so looks like we have something here. Joe says, thank you for your answer. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thomas, do you have a plan to develop styles for blog display? Yes, actually, that was one of my ideas to come up with a tutorial on that. So just keep an eye on the channel, and I'll be releasing that very, very soon. Okay, so let me just check one more time here on YouTube just to make sure I haven't missed anyone. I can see here Fayazi from Thailand has just joined us. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, so once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for tuning in. I know, it's a very busy time of the year now, so you taking out your time to be with me on this live show means a lot to me. So thank you very much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll be seeing you soon. Take care.